So, out of all the titles you could choose, why this title?
Good question. At first I thought about broken to believe again, and then I said, no, that's too cliche. So let me do shattered and scattered. So we know that many of us discard things that are shattered, things that are broken and torn, right? We push those things to the side or we toss it out. But I wanted to give a different definition of being shattered. And because when you're shattered, you're still of use. And it's hard for us to see that because we're so busy focusing on our valleys, our mountains, our situations. But if you just stay the course, there's some things going to come out of it, right? So I feel like being shattered is necessary in the process so you're becoming.
All right.
And so when you're shattered, then it's scattered, right? You begin to see yourself and all these little intricate pieces of your life. And I feel like in order for you to see who God created you to be, your life has to be broken up, right? So that He can be able to put you back together the way He designed for you, not the way that people, over the years, you have heard so many things about. Well, I think you should like this. I think you should be this. And so it's like we are considered to be vessels. And so over time, we have allowed people to tell us who we are. And so we're filling those vessels with all the negative things, even our negative thoughts. And to the point where our vessels begin to overflow, right? So as they're overflowing, where is the room for God to fill us up? Yeah. And so this is why all this came about. I'm super excited for you guys. I mean, this is going to bring some breakthroughs. And I just thank you. Thank you.
So, I've been knowing you for years. And I can't describe you in one word.
I know.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
I know. Danielle, what would you describe?
Crazy.
So listen, that's a good question because I was just thinking about this. Like, there's so many words that I would describe myself. But one thing that I would say is for certain is definitely a wonder. Again, as I mentioned to you guys before, that I'm not this open book. I have to invite you in, right? So if you ever seen the movie Wonder with the little boy who had like this, kind of disorder, and he was so different, but he was still kind to people, generous. All the people were not kind to him. And so the movie actually teaches people about being kind and accepting people's uniqueness. Throughout this entire journey, I feel like I've learned that everyone is not meant to comprehend your language. That's why it's important for us to ask for divine connections. And I also realized that everyone don't have a capacity to understand every nook and cranny about you because they didn't create you. So that's all. That's, I mean.
Okay. So, what chapter in your book did you struggle with writing?
Oh, man. I would say the chapters of my experience with infidelity and skepticism, and the chapter of my cynical mentality led me to destruction. Those were so challenging because it began to expose the part of me I never wanted to tap into. It began to expose that mushy side, and I was like, no, I cannot. But you know what? God sent Dr. Kennedy, she's a coach. He sent her in my life right then and there to actually give me that push to complete those chapters. And so when I say my cynical mentality led me to destruction, I was going through cycles in my life, and I'm sure you guys can contest to your own cycles, where you constantly find yourself in the same situation. You constantly find yourself thinking about making the same decisions, and you find yourself at the end, it ends up at the same result. So through those, I was just like, man, but after I got that push for it, I was like, I think I'm on the right path towards becoming. And so I would then say that the most interesting chapters to write, I wrote was breaking forth to break through, and my visit to the repair clinic. So as I'm breaking through from the old into something new, I knew that I still had to find my intimacy with God in order for him to repair me. Because he had to remove all the negativity over time that had been built in me. So I had to be restored again. He had to do the demolition, so our bodies are considered demolition. Getting the demolition done every day on us in order for us to allow for new things to enter into us. So once that happened, I mean, there's a journey began. That's the beginning of the journey, and it's not easy. I can't tell you guys that it's easy. Towards finding who you are, it's not an easy process, but it's one that's worth the time that you have to invest in it.
Okay. So you touch bases on a lot of mental health subjects in your book. Can you tell us why you felt it was necessary to mention?
So I don't know if some of you all saw Dr. Diana Lewis. She is a mental health psychologist and social worker for over some years. And I reached out to her. It was a promo site. I reached out to her, and she has been in social services over so many years. And when I talked to her, the one thing that she mentioned is that in our Black communities, we don't utilize this type of resource. And so I said, you know, because of what I've been through, all of us have gone through, even if you don't want to state it or not, we've gone through distress, we've gone through depression, anxiety, we have dealt with something in our lives that causes us to get to that place. But we always want to hide behind the mask, and somebody asks, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, but you're really not, you know. And so you're only damaging yourself even more. And so I feel like our mental health involves our emotional, our psychological, our social well-being that actually affects how we think, act, and feel. And over time, well, within this journey, I feel like the key to understanding and dealing with life experiences is having a stable mentality. If you are completely unstable mentally, you're going to always be out of whack, right? And that's what caused the imbalance in all the other areas in your life. And so I would say that, so I wanted to make sure that I include something about the mentality of how we, because the book actually illustrates how our mentality forms our reality. So whether it's negative, you're going to always get a negative reaction. If it's positive, you're going to receive positive. And so, and also, the one thing that I really noticed within this journey of having a mental state, a stable mental state, we go to checkups, we go to routine physicals, right? But why are we so afraid to check up on our mental health? It's just as important.
So what would you say to people who are on the search for their purpose in life?
So I would speak from experience, and I would say that you have to search the deep, deep parts of yourself. You have to find out what is that thing that causes a hindrance to you? What is that thing that blocks you from moving forward? What is that thing that you fear the most? And what